Hi, good morning, children. So, in the last class, we had a comparison of land use pattern in India in two different periods, isn't it? So, I think you all understood that very easily. That was very easy one, and I think you have all read the lesson, read that topic that day itself. I think so. Okay, so today we are going to learn something about soil. Okay, soil, you know that it is an important renewable natural resources, and it acts as a medium for plant growth and for living organisms. So, for man, all the economic activities or any purpose, soil is very important, isn't it? So construction of roads, buildings, factories, schools, and all, and cultivation means agriculture is carried out on different types of soil. So soil it plays an important role in our life. So today we are going on to a detailed discussion of soil, types of soil, soil types in India, and first and foremost the soil profile. Shall we go? Okay. So you can see here the soil profile. It is the cross section of the soil. Okay, you can see so many layers in the soil profile. Hmm? So in your textbook also you have a soil profile given in that page number 7, and in this particular section you can see different layers of soil. Okay, can you see them? Yes, the first layer or the topsoil. What is the importance of topsoil? Yes, on this topsoil, we are conducting our economic activities, our day to day life, all these things, isn't it? And I think, and it is the loose or very soft layer of the soil. As it is on the surface of the earth, it is very loose and also very soft. Agriculture and all are carried out in this particular layer. That is about the topsoil. And most important thing about the topsoil is it has humus content. Humus. Okay. Humus means the organic remains seen in the topsoil, and it is a very important factor determining the fertility of the soil. Okay, if it is very high in quantity, if the humus content is very high, it will be very fertile, and if it is very less, the fertility will be very low. Okay, that is about the humus. So humus is seen only in the top soil. It is the organic remains seen in the top soil. Okay, so green plants are growing in this topsoil, and beneath the topsoil we have a subsoil or weathered rock that is mainly composed of sand, silt, and clay. You can see a leaching layer given in this picture. Let me introduce one another important picture. Yes, you can see another important picture of this soil profile here. So in the second layer, in the subsoil, it is seen the rock particles are weathered. What do you mean by weathering? Yes, weathering means a simple process. That means the breaking up of rock, bigger rocks into smaller grains. Okay, that is the process we call weathering. So weathered rock particles are seen in this layer, mainly sand, silt, and clay. Okay, so this is seen in the second layer or the subsoil. Then beneath that subsoil, we have the substratum. Substratum means the weathered parent rock material, means much coarser than the subsoil. Okay, and beneath the substratum, we have unweathered parent bedrock. Okay, this is the bedrock layer, the last one. Yes, here, this is the bedrock or the parent rock, unweathered parent rock, then above substratum, then above that substratum we have subsoil and the topsoil in the first layer. Okay, that is about the soil profile. Soil profile is the cross section of the soil. Okay, so it is divided into four layers. The top layer is known as topsoil. It has, yes, the humus content. It is the upper soil layer. It is loose and it is soft. Then beneath that subsoil we have weathered rock particles are seen in this layer, especially sand, silt and clay grains are seen mostly in this layer. Then we have weathered parent rock in the substratum, and the last layer unweathered parent rock or the bedrock. These are the four layers in soil profile. Okay. Yes, you please do one thing. You can draw this soil profile in your notebook, in your geography notebook. Please draw the soil profile very neatly. Okay, do it today itself. Yes, listen, children. For the formation of soil is a very long process. That means to form a few centimeter deep soil, it takes millions of years. Can you imagine that? No, we couldn't, because the weathering, erosion, deposition, all these processes are very slow. That is why the soil formation is also very slow process. It takes millions of years sometimes. Okay, so the formation process is known as pedogenesis. Have you heard this name? Pedogenesis. Pedogenesis is the formation, the process of formation of soil. So many factors are contributing to the formation of the soil, especially the relief. Relief means is the geographical divisions, the plateaus or plains or mountains, whatever the formation, whatever the landform, that is the main or the important factor. Okay, next one, the parent rock or the bedrock from which the soil is to be formed. That is the second factor. Then about the climate. Climate plays an important role in the formation of soil. If it is a very rainy region, yes, we have a very different type of soil there. So according to climate, yes, we have different types of soils. Then vegetation and other forms of life. Then most important contributory factor, that is time. Then temperature variation, running water, wind, glaciers, activities of decomposers. All these are some of the factors which contribute the formation of soil. Once again, I am telling them. First one, relief, parent rock or bedrock, climate, vegetation and other forms of life, time, temperature variation, running water, wind, glaciers, and activities of decomposers. These are the important factors behind the formation of different types of soil. Or these factors are controlling, or they are what we can say contributing so many factors, or they play an important role in the formation of different types of soil. Okay, is on the basis of the factors responsible for soil formation: color, thickness, texture, age, chemical and physical properties. The soils of India can be classified into different groups. We can see different types of soil in India. And in ninth standard, you have studied different physiographic divisions of India, physical features of India. That is why this much variation in soil type is seen in India. So we have mainly 6 types of soils in India. So in this map you can see them. Okay, the outline map of India is here with states are also bordered. So in different colors, these soil types are given in different colors. Can you see them? As it is very easy one, this picture, this map. Okay, So the different types of soil seen in India are, namely they are, the first one, alluvial soil, then forest and mountain soil, then red and yellow soil, next one black soil, then the laterite soil, and the arid and desert soil. Okay, these are the six main categories of soil seen in India. Which are the six types of soil seen in India? Alluvial soil, forest and mountain soil, red and yellow soil, black soil, laterite soil, and arid and desert soil. Okay, have you got that six types of soil seen in India? Yes, which are the six soils seen in India? Alluvial soil, black soil, red and yellow soil, forest and mountain soil, laterite soil, and arid soil. Okay, so first and foremost, the alluvial soil. Okay, the first type of soil we are going to deal with is alluvial soil. Okay, you can see that alluvial patch of soil seen in this blue color here. Here. Yes, this blue color denotes the alluvial soil deposits in India. Can you see the states in which they are seen? Yes, Punjab, Haryana, some parts of Rajasthan, that means the northern part of Rajasthan, then Delhi, and also the eastern part of Rajasthan, and most of the parts in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, and Assam. Okay, and the coastal regions of Gujarat, we can see this alluvial soil. And also you can see a very small stretch, very narrow stretch of alluvial soil in the west coast and some parts in the east coast. Can you see them? Yes, Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, Assam, and the coastal regions of Gujarat, and a very narrow strip of coast in the west coast and some parts in the east coast. These are the important areas in India with alluvial deposits. Okay, and as you know, it is the main or the important type of soil in which agriculture is in a very high percentage. That means as it is the very fertile soil, alluvial soil is the very fertile soil, and that is why most of the agricultural crops are grown in this particular soil. Okay, that is why it is known for the population and also so many infrastructural facilities. Okay, so water retaining capacity is very high. So these crops like wheat, rice, some types of cereals, and pulses, all these sugarcane, all these are cultivated in this alluvial soil. Okay, what is the importance of this alluvial soil? Can you see? Can you say? Yes, they are rich in, one second, potash, phosphoric acid, and lime. Okay, this percentage of potash, phosphoric acid, and lime is very high in alluvial soil, and it is very suitable for the cultivation of sugarcane, paddy, wheat, some cereals, and pulses, and seen in this particular blue part. And can you name this particular region? What is the name of this region? Yes, the northern plains or the great Indian plain or the Indo-Gangetic plain. Okay, so how these alluvial soils are formed? Yes, they are formed by the deposition of several rivers, especially the three important rivers which deposit the alluvial plain in this particular region of India are the Indus, the Ganga or Ganges, and the Brahmaputra. So these are the three main rivers which deposits alluvium or alluvial soil, or they are responsible for the alluvial soil found in the northern plains. Which are the rivers? Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra. Due to the deposition of the three mighty Himalayan rivers, we have the great Indian plain or the northern plain. Okay, so northern plain is famous for agriculture, and also it is one of the most populous region in the world. Okay, yes. So, in the eastern and western coastal plains, about the eastern coastal plain, it is particularly seen in the deltas of Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, and Kaveri rivers. Have you heard about this delta? What do you mean by delta? What is delta? Actually, delta is a Greek alphabet seen in this particular triangular shape. Okay, so delta here in geography, delta is a landform which is formed by the rivers. Especially they are seen at the mouth of the river. Mouth of the river means where it is joining to a larger water body, means maybe a sea or ocean, or sometimes maybe a larger river, that is delta, and they are formed by the distributaries of the rivers. What do you mean by distributaries? Distributor means see, so this is a river flowing. So when it is here, we have a sea here, a larger water body is here, so the speed of the river may be very slow in this particular region, so it began to bend, or the distributaries began to form here. So many distributaries are here. So between these distributaries we have a triangular shaped landform. Can you see them here? It is known as delta. Okay, so delta is a triangular shaped landform formed at the mouth of the river. Okay, so in the eastern coast, the alluvial soil is seen in the delta regions of the four main peninsular rivers, which are they? Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, and Kaveri. Okay, in the western coastal plains also we can see this formation of alluvium. Alluvial deposits are here. That is formed by yes, very small rivers are flowing through this region, because as it is the narrow, one of the narrow portion of the western coast. Okay, between the western Ghats and the Arabian Sea, we have a very narrow strip of land than the east. Eastern side or eastern coastal plain, it is much more bigger, or it is very wider than the western coastal plain. Okay. Yes, what about in the north? They are seen in Piedmont plains such as Duars, Chos, and Terai. Actually, Piedmont plain means they are situated, the plain situated at the bottom of a hill or a mountain. They are known as Piedmont plains, formed at the bottom or at the foothills of a mountain or a hill. They are known as Piedmont plains. So they are known in different names in North India: Duars, Chos, and Terai. And this particular region, the grains are much coarser. The soil type is coarser, in coarse grained. Okay. Then apart from the size of the grains or components, the soil, the alluvial soil is again divided into two categories on the basis of their age. On the basis of age, alluvial soil can be divided into two. That means the younger alluvial soil or the Khadar and the older alluvial soil, that is the Bangar. Okay, these are the two types of alluvial soil on the base of age. The older alluvial soil known as Bangar, and the younger alluvial soil it is known as Khadar. Okay, older alluvium Bangar and younger alluvium Khadar. Don't forget this. This is very important one. So the two types of alluvial soil on the basis of age are Khadar and Bangar. Khadar is younger alluvial soil and Bangar means the older alluvial soil. So can you say which one will be maybe the most fertile among these two? Yes, obviously the Khadar. Khadar is more fertile than the older alluvial soil Bangar because yes, it is repeatedly deposited by the new alluvial soil. Alluvium is deposited in the Khadar. That is why it must be the best or the more fertile than Bangar. Okay, then one important thing, yes, Bangar soil has higher concentration of canker nodules than the Khadar. That is why fertility is very less as compared to Khadar. Okay, canker nodules means calcium carbonate nodules. Canker means canker nodule means calcium carbonate nodules. CaCO3. Calcium carbonate nodules. So it is seen in this Khadar. That is why in Bangar, that is why Bangar is not much fertile as Khadar, the younger alluvial. Okay, these are the two types of alluvial soil on the basis of age. In this map also you can see the alluvial soil in India. Hmm? Yes, alluvial soil, only the alluvial soil in India. Okay. So next we are moving on to the next type of soil, that is black soil. Yes, black soil. Yes, it is black in color. That is why the name is black soil. So how this soil is formed, or how or why this black soil is having that color? Hmm? Yes, actually, the black soil is formed from the basalt or granite or the igneous rock formation. Have you heard about that type of rocks, igneous rocks? Yes, in the previous classes, maybe in 6 or 7, you may be the different types of rocks. On the base of formation, there are 3 types of rocks: igneous rock, metamorphic rock, and ah, sedimentary rock. These are the 3 main rocks, and most important among them is the igneous rock. So how these igneous rocks are formed is actually how these igneous rocks are formed by the solidification of magma or lava that may be inside or outside the earth's surface. So the molten hot material deep inside the earth may solidify to form this type of igneous rock. When it is seen outside the surface of the earth, it is known as extrusive, and inside it is known as intrusive. So the igneous rocks are the parent rock for the formation of this type of black soil. So actually the peninsular part of India, we can see a much more concentration of this black soil. Okay, so you can see that is given in a light green patch. Okay, yes, here. Okay, the peninsular part or the peninsular region in India is exercised or seen this black soil is seen in this particular region. Okay, so this black soil is also known as rigor soil. Rigor soil, or sometimes it is known as Chernosem. Leave it that. Rigor soil. Then another name of black soil is rigor, and that is ideal for growing cotton. That is why this particular type of soil is known as black cotton soil. Why this soil is known as black cotton soil? Because it is ideal for the cultivation of, yes, cotton. So in India, this black soil is seen in the Deccan Trap region, and also it covers the plateaus of Maharashtra, Saurashtra, Malwa, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, and it extends in the southeast direction along the Godavari and Krishna valleys. Okay, that is about the area where it is seen. Then the black soils are made up of extremely fine particles. That means the clay particles or the clay grains. Actually, clay particles are the most extreme particle among the broken materials by weathering. Okay, so it is composed of clay materials, and it is well known for their capacity to hold moisture. So moisture retaining capacity is very high as compared to any other soil type. This black soil is having a high capacity to hold moisture, and also they are rich in nutrients such as calcium carbonate, magnesium, potash and lime. Okay, but it is poor in phosphoric contents. Okay, and the climate plays an important role in this black soil. That is why it developed deep cracks during hot weather, and this deep cracks, they help them for aeration. Aeration means the air which they will penetrate inside the soil through the deep cracks, and it becomes wet or sticky when it is wet and difficult for work on unless it tilled immediately after the rainy season, after first rain, okay, or the pre-monsoon period. That is the importance of this black soil. So we studied two types of soils today, alluvial soil and black soil. And please remember the things I told you in the class. Please try to make a lecture note that will help you to study it very easily, and you can study it from the map it is given in the textbook, and also from this video you can do that. Please read the lesson very carefully, and you keep it in mind where it is seen, the soil type where it is seen, and which are the crops cultivated in each type, then which are the places of these two types of soil, and any peculiarities or any characteristic features are there. If it is there, please note down. Okay, so I think it is all for today. We can meet in the next class. Please read the textbook very clearly. If you find any difficulty, please ask me. നിങ്ങൾ ഒരു ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടും വിചാരിക്കരുത്. എന്തെങ്കിലും നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവാതെ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ എന്നെ വിളിച്ച് ചോദിക്കുകയോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വാട്സപ്പിൽ മെസ്സേജ് ചെയ്യുകയോ ചെയ്യുക. Please, I will help you. Okay, I am always available to you. Please read it thoroughly and watch the video, and please try to understand all these things. It is very simple thing. Okay, with the help of map you can understand it very easily. Okay, so that's all for today. Okay, bye bye, have a nice day.